What if I told you many of your thoughts aren't actually yours? What if right now your brain is just echoing what you've seen online? In the 1990s, scientists discovered mirror neurons in monkeys, and later, similar systems in humans. These neurons are mostly located in the brain's motor and emotional centers. They help us understand others' actions, emotions, and intentions. They're essential for empathy, imitation, learning, and social connection. For example, when you smile, certain neurons in your brain become active. But if you see someone else smile, those same neurons also fire, as if you were smiling yourself. Mirror neurons were meant to help us connect. But in the digital age, they've become a double-edged sword, making us more vulnerable to groupthink, easily swayed by others, and unconsciously adopting beliefs and behaviors we don't even question. We often define ourselves through the groups we belong to, our nationality, religion, political views, or social circles. But sometimes the need to belong outweighs our ability to think clearly. People may give up critical thinking just to fit in. They stop questioning and begin following the mainstream narrative, even if it doesn't fully make sense. One classic experiment reveals just how powerful this pressure can be. In the 1950s, psychologist Solomon Asch invited participants to join what they thought was a simple visual test. They were shown a line and asked to choose the matching line from a group of 3. The correct answer was obvious, but what the real participant didn't know was that everyone else in the room was an actor, intentionally giving the wrong answer. At first, the participants stuck to the truth. But as more and more wrong answers were repeated around them, many began to doubt their own eyes. Some conformed out of self-doubt, others just to avoid standing out. Over 75% of people went along with the group at least once, even when the answer was clearly wrong. The desire for acceptance can override personal judgment, and in today's online world, that desire is constantly being manipulated. Social media platforms are designed to keep us scrolling. They exploit our brain's need for connection, validation, and dopamine. Every like, comment, and notification gives us a little reward. It feels good, so we come back for more. Like a slot machine, the next scroll might give us another hit of affirmation, but there's more. Social media doesn't just reward us, it shapes us. It shows us content we already agree with, reinforcing our beliefs and filtering out opposing views. This creates echo chambers where we're surrounded by people and ideas just like us. The more we scroll, the more we conform, and the louder the noise becomes, the quieter our inner voice gets. We start losing the courage to stand alone with our thoughts, because it's easier to blend in than to question, easier to agree than to risk being different. In a world that rewards conformity and punishes doubt, independent thinking feels risky, even lonely. So we silence our inner voice, not because we believe, but because we fear rejection. Slowly, we forget how to think for ourselves. We trade authenticity for approval. You need to learn to think, not just consume, not just repeat, but truly think. Because thinking isn't just about being smart, it's about survival. It's about effectiveness. It's about power. When you can think clearly, speak boldly, and write with precision, you become unstoppable. You can shape your world instead of being shaped by it. Thinking helps you win the battles you choose to fight, and those battles, they can be for truth, for justice, for beauty, for change. But without thinking, you become a pawn, moved by forces you don't understand, manipulated by trends, fears, and noise. Independent thinking is the beginning of freedom, and freedom begins the moment you say, I want to understand for myself. In a world flooded with information, some of it will inevitably be false. That's why we must become mindful of what we take in and ask, how open should my mind be to this? Don't accept things blindly. Ask, does this match my experience? Does it align with reality and what others I trust have observed? If it doesn't, it's a sign to be skeptical. And always question the source. Who is saying it? Is it credible or designed to mislead? What's the evidence behind it? Has anyone tried to disprove it? Because strong ideas welcome challenge. Weak ones hide from it. As humans, we naturally seek patterns. We want the world to make sense. And when answers aren't clear, we often invent them just to feel in control. But what makes sense to us doesn't always make sense to the universe. The only way to overcome this bias is to continually question, not just the world, but also ourselves. That's the heart of science: curiosity, skepticism, self-correction. And it's a mindset that can guide us, not only in labs, but in daily life. Here are 4 simple, powerful tools to help you think more clearly and independently. 1. Reverse thinking. Ask, what if the opposite is true? This flips your assumptions and reveals blind spots. Also ask, what would someone who disagrees with me say? It builds empathy, even if you don't change your mind. 2. Slow down your thinking. When triggered, take a breath. Ask yourself, why do I believe this? Or am I reacting or reflecting? This short pause creates space for clarity and better decisions. 3. Intentional exposure to opposing views. The 5% rule. Make it a habit to spend 5% of your time consuming content you disagree with. Harvard researchers found that simply showing people opposing views can backfire, making them more entrenched unless they're open, curious, and reflective. It's not just about seeing the other side, it's about understanding it with respect and calm. That's how minds expand. 4. Reflect and journal writing reveals the structure of your thoughts. When your thinking is clear, your writing becomes clear. When your mind is messy, so are your words. Journaling slows you down. It helps you organize, challenge, and connect ideas. It sharpens awareness of the present, brings insight into the past, and clarifies the path forward. In a world full of noise, independent thinking is your superpower. Not to rebel for the sake of rebellion, but to live on your own terms. Not to reject everything, but to question with purpose. Not to isolate, but to connect with depth, clarity, and authenticity. So if this video spoke to you, if it helped you pause, reflect, or think a little differently, please like, share, and subscribe.